Can they prove that he had access to it? You know, I just kind of expected this fight, and it was teed up for trial. So recently they had moved to continue the trial. The trial got set for July 20th. And just 2 days ago, I noticed that a notice of hearing was filed for what? For a plea for Baby Max. We had heard that he was set to enter a plea. But what some people didn't realize is so is Jaaybo. His attorney filed a notice of hearing saying, hey, June 4th, 10 a.m., Jaaybo's going to be entering a plea. Now, in federal court, you do get sentencing is based on loosely and maybe not loosely based on the federal sentencing guidelines and where you fall in this range. And you do get extra points or a potential reduction for acceptance of responsibility. So it is always in federal court a big roll of the dice to go to trial because you lose certain points that you get for accepting responsibility ahead of time. And you lose that if you roll the dice and go to trial. So you're automatically going to be sentenced to more if you're found guilty because you don't get that reduction for acceptance of responsibility. But given this backdrop and given the fact that he was just a passenger in the vehicle and nothing like actually found on him, I thought maybe there'd be a fight there. And it's not typical that they're going to enter a plea and have an agreement with the prosecution. Okay, it's going to be this. Sometimes you can agree to where it's going to fall, what guideline range. But they are set to plea him out on June 4th. No taking it to trial. This is done. No motions to suppress. Case closed. Not sentenced, though. He's going to enter a plea. Most likely, they're going to, well, not most likely, they will order a pre-sentence investigation, pre-sentence report where probation will speak with Jaaybo, family members. The defense will be able to do a whole sentencing presentation or memorandum to the judge. The prosecution will do the same, and the judge ultimately has the final word. So on June 4th, he will be entering a plea of guilty to these charges. Now, will he be pleading to all of them? Did they somehow negotiate that he's only going to plead to a few and not the others? I don't know. I doubt it, but we'll see. And
one thing about opportunities is that they don't come around every day. For a lot of artists, especially those who come from difficult environments, getting a second chance at life is rare. That's why the situation involving EBK Jaaybo and EBK Baby Max has so many people paying attention right now. Now, before we get started, I want to make it clear that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and legal matters should play out in the courtroom. But from a broader perspective, this situation gives us an opportunity to talk about success, accountability, and how quickly everything can change when street life and opportunity collide. When you look at EBK Jaaybo's career, one thing becomes obvious. He had momentum. He had people paying attention. He had fans waiting for new music. He had a name that was beginning to travel beyond Northern California. Those are things that a lot of artists spend their entire careers trying to accomplish. The music industry is one of the most competitive businesses in the world. Every day, there are thousands of artists uploading songs, shooting videos, and trying to get noticed. Most of them never make it. Most of them never build a fan base. Most of them never get a second look from the public. That's why when an artist finally starts gaining traction, every move matters. Unfortunately, a lot of artists struggle with making the transition from surviving in the streets to operating as a businessman. The mindset that helped you survive tough environments is not always the same mindset that helps you maintain success. Once money starts coming in, once fans start showing support, once labels, promoters, and media outlets start paying attention, the rules change. Now you have something to lose. You have opportunities to lose. You have freedom to lose. You have money to lose. You have relationships to lose. You have a future to lose. For many people, that's the hardest adjustment to make. A lot of individuals become successful, but continue moving as if nothing has changed. They continue taking unnecessary risks. They continue putting themselves in situations that don't benefit their future. They continue operating as if tomorrow is guaranteed, but tomorrow is never guaranteed. The reality is that fame comes with attention, not just attention from fans, not just attention from supporters, not just attention from people who want to see you win. It also comes with attention from law enforcement, critics, and people who want to see you fail. The more successful you become, the more people pay attention to your every move. That's why so many successful entertainers eventually separate themselves from certain environments. It isn't because they forgot where they came from. It isn't because they think they're better than anybody. It's because they understand that they have too much to lose. When you're finally making money legally, taking care of your family, helping loved ones, and building something for the future, protecting your freedom should become a priority. That's one of the biggest lessons young artists can learn. The goal isn't just becoming famous. The goal is staying successful. Anybody can have a hot moment. Anybody can have one viral song. Anybody can have one big interview. But maintaining success over years requires discipline. It requires patience. It requires self-control. It requires making decisions based on your future instead of your emotions. When people become successful, they often feel pressure from multiple directions. Some people expect them to stay involved in things that no longer benefit them. Some people expect them to prove themselves repeatedly. Some people expect them to remain available for every situation and every conflict. But the smartest people understand that success requires sacrifice. Sometimes that means leaving certain habits behind. Sometimes that means distancing yourself from unnecessary drama. Sometimes that means choosing business over emotions. A lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. The streets don't offer retirement plans. The streets don't offer investment opportunities. The streets don't offer generational wealth. The streets don't provide stability. What the streets often provide is risk. And the longer a person stays attached to unnecessary risks, the greater the chances that something eventually goes wrong. Another important thing people need to understand is that both law enforcement and opposition can benefit when a person refuses to change after becoming successful. As your name grows, your visibility grows. As your visibility grows, the spotlight becomes brighter. People begin paying attention to things they may have ignored before. Every decision becomes more important. Every mistake becomes more costly. Every poor choice carries bigger consequences. That's why emotional discipline becomes one of the most valuable tools a person can have. The ability to walk away, the ability to ignore certain situations, the ability to avoid reacting to every challenge, the ability to think long-term, those skills can literally save your future. Because at the end of the day, what matters most? Is it winning one argument? Or is it maintaining the opportunity to provide for your family for the next 20 years? Most people would choose the second option. And that's exactly why successful individuals often move differently. They understand that freedom has value. They understand that peace has value. They understand that protecting opportunities has value. When an artist starts generating income, the focus should be on building something that lasts. Buying property, creating businesses, investing money, building a foundation, creating opportunities for family members, making sure the next generation has a better life. Those are the things that create real success, not temporary attention, not temporary recognition, not temporary validation. Real success is creating something that continues benefiting your family long after the spotlight fades. Looking at the situation involving EBK Jaaybo and EBK Baby Max, a lot of fans are disappointed because they saw potential, they saw momentum, they saw talent, they saw individuals who had opportunities to continue growing their careers. And whenever legal issues interrupt that process, it's always unfortunate because time is something nobody can get back. The music industry moves fast, fans move on, new artists emerge, new trends appear, algorithms change, attention shifts, an absence of several years can completely alter the trajectory of a career. That's why protecting your freedom is just as important as building your fan base. Without freedom, everything becomes more difficult. Without freedom, opportunities become limited. Without freedom, momentum can disappear. If there's one lesson that young artists should take away from situations like this, it's that success requires a different mindset. Once the opportunity arrives, protect it. Once the money starts coming in, protect it. Once your name starts growing, protect it. Because opportunities are hard to get and easy to lose. Final thought, every artist dreams about making it out. Every artist dreams about reaching a level where they can help their family, buy property, create wealth, and leave a legacy. But reaching that level is only half the battle. The other half is staying there. The people who win long-term are usually the people who understand that discipline is more valuable than pride, patience is more valuable than emotion, and freedom is more valuable than temporary validation. Hopefully, every young person watching this video can learn from situations like this and understand that once opportunity knocks, protecting that opportunity should become the #1 priority.